Hey, everybody, welcome back to the SuperBake podcast. I'm your host, SuperBake. Let's talk about stuff. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Sorry I wasn't able to do an episode last week. Had some things come up, but there was a lot going on, and I was going to do a reaction video to the Sony State of Play and then the Summer Games Fest events, but really, most of the games in those I wasn't super interested in. There were a couple that kind of caught my interest. I saw that they were doing like a remake for the original Silent Hill, so I need to play the remake of Silent Hill 2, and I'll pick that up at some point. But yeah, I'm excited to play the Silent Hill remake as well. I've kind of been wanting to get into that series for a while now, so this seems like a good time to do it. But really, I'll just kind of be talking about just a couple things that kind of caught my interest this last week. Two pretty big announcements. I mean, they were announced. One of them was announced before this, but I'll be giving my thoughts on the announcement of Spaceballs 2 apparently is happening. Holy shit. The sequel to the original is finally coming out, and it was announced by Mel Brooks, of all people. So I'll be talking about that. I'll also be giving my thoughts on the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster that's coming out later this year. But first, just going to kind of give a quick catch up on what I've been doing for the last couple weeks. I did beat Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Wow, that game rules. This isn't gonna be like an in-depth review. I'm just gonna give my thoughts on it very quickly. I'll kind of just go over the plot of the game, just a very brief plot. Basically, the plot revolves around there's this thing known as like a gomage. It's like this curse that this entity known as the Paintress puts on humanity. So like every year, this Paintress, she wakes up and she paints a number on this big monolith, and whatever the number is, it causes every person of that age to basically vanish. And so you play as this character, Gustav, who is leading this expedition, which is called Expedition 33 because there's been other expeditions in the past. And your job is to go and try to basically stop the Paintress from completing the current gomage of the year and basically put an end to it. This game is incredible. I think I only put about maybe 20 to 30 hours in the game, which is I think that's what I saw online, what most people were saying the length of the game was. I think that's what it showed on howlongtobeat.com. This game is like phenomenal. It is easily one of the best turn-based RPGs I've played in a long time. When I talked about it before, I had mentioned that it was kind of a cross between like a turn-based Final Fantasy type game and oddly enough, Souls-like game, because there is like a dodge and a parry mechanic in the game that you can use, and you kind of have to if you don't want to get your ass handed to you. But man, without going into too much detail, it's incredible what the team that made this was able to do with just 30 some odd people. If you have not played it yet and you get the chance, I cannot recommend this game enough. I'm not going to go too much more into it just because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is phenomenal and it deserves all the praise it's gotten. I would not be surprised if this game is a contender for Game of the Year for 2025. In fact, I mean, I don't want to speak too soon because we've still got other games coming out. We've still got Death Stranding 2, we've got the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake coming out, and then we've also got Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, which I don't know if that'll win Game of the Year, but who knows? Tactics is a big game. It's a big favorite for a lot of fans. So, but still, I could see Claire Obscure taking that title. It is such a great game. So, like, I'm definitely going to go back and play it again because it does have New Game Plus. Just everything about it is just phenomenal. I love the way the combat works, the flow of it. The dodge and parry mechanics feel really good, as well as some of the other mechanics they throw in there that you'll kind of have to see for yourself if you play the game. But and even just the look of the game is really good as well. Like the hair mechanics are or physics are a little bit weird. Sometimes the way the character's hair kind of bounces back and forth is a little bit odd in some of the cutscenes, but I mean, otherwise, the look of the game is just incredible. So, yeah, cannot recommend this game enough. It is truly phenomenal. But yeah, gonna get into just some of my topics real quick. Just kind of a quick catch up on what else I've been doing. I actually started playing the Metal Gear Solid series. I picked up the Master Collection on the PlayStation Store because I had started playing Phantom Pain a long time ago, and it was the first game in the Metal Gear series that I had played. And of course, I had no idea what was going on. I think technically it's a prequel to the series. I think it takes place after Metal Gear Solid 3, if I'm not mistaken. But Didn't really know what was going on. That was probably a rookie move on my part. So I actually picked up the original series on the PlayStation Store. I just beat Metal Gear Solid 1. I didn't play Metal Gear 1 or Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I'll probably watch a recap video on those. Right now I'm on Metal Gear Solid 2. And yeah, playing through the first one, I really enjoyed it. I loved the story and the characters, but it's a PS1 game and it definitely felt like it. The controls are pretty clunky, and just the fact that you can't aim down sight really kind of threw me off. Um, I was able to get through it fine. I played it mostly on easy mode just because I didn't really want to have to deal with a lot of the annoying bosses and mechanics of the game. Sniper Wolf sucked. That boss pissed me off. That boss seriously almost made me rage quit that game. Every other boss, for the most part, with the exception of the tank, I pretty much rolled through. I remember I fought Vulcan Raven, and I just beat him by just laying out a line of claymores, so he just ran through him and blew himself up like a dumbass. So that fight was actually not too bad. And even like the final fight against Metal Gear Rex wasn't too bad either, just with the Stinger missiles and using the grenades to basically like throw off his scanner so he couldn't hit me. But yeah, really good game. But I immediately jumped into Metal Gear Solid 2, and man, it is such a huge improvement. Even though it's still on the PS2, it still feels pretty dated. Just the jump in graphics is like really noticeable, and even the controls are better too. Like I love the fact that you can aim down sight in that game with your suppressor gun. That's really nice. You have like the tranquilizer, which is really nice for taking out enemy soldiers. It makes it so much easier. Like yeah, I'm really excited to play through those games. I'm really excited about getting to Metal Gear Solid 3. My goal is to get to that game and beat it before the remake comes out, and then probably pick up that game. I think right now, because this is volume 1 of the Master Collection, so I wanna play through all the games, but I think right now, unfortunately, you can't play through, Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS4. I think it's only available exclusively on the 3, and I do have my old PlayStation 3 console, but I don't have Metal Gear Solid 4, so I'll probably just wait for the Master Collection Volume 2 to come out before I get that one, but I may just watch a recap video of it online because I think that game's mostly just cutscenes from what I've been told. But my goal is to play through all those games and then play through Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, as well as Ground Zero or whatever it's called, and basically play through most of the main games in the series. I may watch a recap video of some of the smaller games and the spin-off games like Revengeance or whatever it's called, but I can definitely understand the hype around these games. It is phenomenal. So I think they've announced there's going to be a live action movie with I think Oscar Isaac playing Solid Snake. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I understand everything that's going on in the story. I get some of it for the most part, but like, yeah, it's definitely a solid game series. I totally understand like why it is so revered. But yeah, that's just kind of a quick catch up on like what I've been doing as far as video games go. But yeah, let's get into it. First topic, Spaceballs 2 has been announced. Announced by Mel Brooks. It is set to release in 2027. Apparently, Rick Moranis is going to reprise his role as Dark Helmet, and from what I understand, I think this is his first movie role in quite a long time. I think he sadly retired from acting, I think, a couple decades ago. I think part of it was because I believe his wife had cancer, and so he took a break from acting to take care of her, which that was really sad. I hated to hear about that. I've always liked Rick Moranis. He was always like one of my favorite actors in comedies, mainly from his role in like Ghostbusters. I always liked him in those series, and Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I thought he was good in those as well. And then I remember a few years ago, I think wasn't he attacked in New York or something like that? Like somebody like physically attacked him, which I thought that was just bullshit. Like that story pissed me off. Like I don't know the circumstances surrounding it. I don't know like what happened, but like that seriously pissed me off when I heard about that. Like I don't really know much about Rick Moranis personally, but he always seemed like a really cool, like nice, sweet guy in real life. So I don't know. The idea that anybody would want to like hurt him just really irritates me. But he is coming back. He's reprising his role as Dark Helmet, which I'm happy to hear that. Apparently, Bill Pullman is reprising his role as Lone Star. And I guess his son Lewis Pullman is also going to be in the movie, which is funny. I'm sure there's going to be some joke in there that Mel Brooks is going to make about them being related or something like that. I'm sure they'll figure out some way to throw it in there. As well as Daphne Zuniga is going to be in it as well, reprising her role as Princess. Is it Vespa? It's been a very long time since I've watched the original. I think it's on HBO Max right now, so I may have to rewatch that movie. I think the last time I watched it was probably honestly like 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen that film. But yeah, and unfortunately, John Candy, tragically he passed away back in like what was it, the 90s, so he won't be reprising his role as Barf, but I'm kind of wondering if they're going to have somebody if they're going to recast Barf in the movie or if they're just going to have maybe just not have that character in there. I guess we'll have to wait and see when we finally get a teaser trailer. So 2 years from now, before it comes out, yeah, like I haven't seen every Mel Brooks movie. Like I've seen Blazing Saddles, of course. I've seen Spaceballs. I think I saw what was it, History of the World, a long time ago, but I don't remember a whole lot about that movie. But Spaceballs always kind of stuck with me. Like I always remember there's a scene in the movie that always, like, made me laugh my ass off. It's, like, towards the end when the ship's getting blown up and, like, Dark Helmet and the I guess it's supposed to be, like, the Emperor in the movie, like, they come rolling down the stairs towards the center console. That always made me laugh. The way they all kinda, like, just they all, like, coordinate and go at the same exact time. And then what was it? Like, that freaking Looney Tunes style humor where, like, they're combing the beach, like, they're literally combing the beach with, like, the giant combs. It's, like, just such stupid, like, Looney Tunes humor that I've always appreciated from Mel Brooks. Yeah, and then what was it? Oh, yeah, that was Mel Brooks who played the that movie's version of Yoda. And then what was it? Pizza the Hut. That that was such a disgusting creature. I remember that actually made me not wanna eat pizza for the longest time when I saw his character in the movie. But, yeah, this is I almost thought this was fake. When I saw like, one of my friends sent me a text, like, a video for this via text message, and I almost thought this wasn't real. Like, I thought this was some kind of prank. 'Cause it wouldn't surprise me if Mel Brooks did something like this. There was, like, an interview he did with Conan O'Brien a long time ago where he had, like, that 6th finger, like a prosthetic finger put on one of his hands for, like, his Hollywood star that he was gonna do. So it's like, if anybody would pull a prank like this, it would be Mel Brooks. I could see him doing this just to get on a laugh on his fans, but no, apparently this is real, this is happening, and I'm genuinely excited for this. Like, I always thought, like, it would have been so funny if they did, like, a trilogy series for Spaceballs making fun of the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm sure a lot of people did, but just the idea that, like, they're doing another one for this one. Also, I love the scrolling text from the beginning, like, how they remark on, like, all the Star Wars movies that have happened, and then, what was it? He says, like, there's the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, then, like, the prequel to the sequel trilogy, and then I love the bit about the Lion King animated movies, and then he just mentions Oppenheimer at the very end of it. God, just all the movies that he references in there, like, is just so fucking funny. But yeah, this and then, of course, just to top it all off, you got Mel Brooks at the very end of it with his little, quick monologue about, like, why they made the film. Dude, Mel Brooks for being, like, what, 90 something years old is, like he's either gonna be 100 when this comes out or he's close to 100. I think he's, like, 97, 98 right now. Man, he's still sharp as hell. Like, he hasn't lost his step. Man, he's what a seriously, what a treasure of a man. I freaking love Mel Brooks. But yeah, I'm very excited for this movie. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch Spaceballs and just kinda see if it still holds up. Came out in, like, 1987. God, a year before I was born. That's crazy to me that this movie's, like, 37, 38 years old now. It blows my mind. When they were saying that in the opening scroll, I was like, "This movie's not that old. It can't be that old." I'm like, "Oh, no, the '80s are now almost 40 years ago." That really depresses me. I'm still one of those people who thinks that, like, the first Matrix only came out, like, 10 years ago. I don't know why I still have that in my mind. Like, I look at the first Matrix and it's like, "Oh, yeah, it came out in '98. That was or '99. That was, like, what, like, 10, 15 years ago tops?" It's like, "Oh, no, it was over 25 years ago." Oh my god, that's so depressing to think about now. But yeah, this is really exciting, unexpected news. Kind of snuck up on me, but I'm genuinely super excited about this movie. I think this is going to be another movie me and my friends are probably going to have to go see as a group. It definitely beats when we went to go see Borderlands last year. That was awful. That was a shit show. And in the next topic, we have the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster is coming out. The Ivalice Chronicles. So, full disclosure here, I never actually played the original Tactics, but everyone I know who is a big Final Fantasy fan swears that is like their favorite entry in the series. I don't remember like what number this is in the series, if it's like 6 or like if it's like the one between before 7. I feel like it was the one right before 7 came out. I don't know. The order of like the first few Final Fantasy games always confuses me because I think there was like they were different they were numbered differently when they were released in Japan versus when they released in the US, and I don't remember like what the actual order is. But like I know like Final Fantasy Tactics, I think that was like one of the ones that had like the grid-based combat, kind of similar to games like Triangle Strategy, which I love Triangle Strategy. I really developed a love for these like strategy-based turn-based combat games like Final Fantasy Tactics, um, Tactics over Ogre Reborn, like these kinds of games like really just I really love them now. Like I've gained such a new appreciation for them. So This game releases on September 30th of this year, so we don't have to wait too long for it to come out. Yeah, one of my buddies, he's super excited about this. He's pretty much just like, I'm buying this game day one. He's like, I'm almost willing to buy this on like every console just to support this game because it's that good. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of with him on this. Like, I'm genuinely excited about this game. And what's really cool about this too, I read that apparently this is going to include not just the new remastered version, which is going to be fully voice acted. It has that beautiful 2D HD style that we've seen from a lot of games like Triangle Strategy and Octopath Traveler, but also it's going to include the original version as well. So if you would prefer to play the original one from like I think it was the PS1 era, that's going to be on this. So that's really cool. I love that they're including that version on this game. Yeah, this is genuinely like super exciting. Like I can't wait for this game. And like ever since I played Final Fantasy 16, I've really been looking for another Final Fantasy game to play. I know some of the original ones, I think it's like the first 4, you can buy them on like the PlayStation Store and play them. I thought about picking them up because they're not super expensive. I think they're each like a few bucks or something like that. And I think you can buy the whole collection for a little bit more money. That thought had crossed my mind a while back, but honestly, I'd probably hold off on that for now. This one definitely seems like it's going to be worth the money. I'd almost be willing to pick this up, play the remastered version, and then go back and play the original version. Or maybe play the original version first. I'm not really sure quite yet. But yeah, this is also very exciting news. Between this and the uh the sequel to Death Stranding coming out, and then the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, man, my backlog is gonna be filled this year, and plus I've still gotta play through Metal Gear Solid, 1 through 3 on the Master Collection before I play Phantom Pain. I'm kinda torn right now if I'm going to play Phantom Pain before I play Death Stranding 2. I know I'm definitely gonna get Death Stranding 2 at some point in the near future. I just need to figure out if I'm gonna try to play through Phantom Pain first. I looked up on howlongtobeat.com, and Phantom Pain, I think if you don't include, Ground Zero, I think it's like between 40 to 50 hours because it's like more of an open world game versus like the traditional, more direct games from the series. So there's a fair amount there to sink your teeth into. And I'm sure Death Stranding is going to be just as long as the first one. I don't even remember how many hours I put into the first Death Stranding game. It was quite a bit though. It was probably like at least between 50 to 60 hours because I just did so much extra content building roads and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got so many games like to look forward to this year. Man, gamers are freaking eating well this year. Like, kind of sucks that games are getting more expensive, but at least these ones seem like they're going to be within the $70 price tag for now. Oh yeah, speaking of that, like I still haven't bought a Nintendo Switch 2. I said this before when I did my reaction to the Nintendo Switch announcement. Like, I'm still not gonna get a Switch 2 probably this year. The only game on there that I'm even interested in right now anymore is just the new Donkey Kong game. I'm not even really interested in Mario Kart World. I've seen some reviews for it, and the general consensus that I've seen seems to be that like it's good, but it's not worth buying the new console. So yeah, I think it's probably gonna take probably at least 4 or 5, like, really good exclusives before I even consider getting a Switch 2. Plus, they're not even really available right now anyway. I checked online just for shits and grins to see if I could find anything, and really there's not a whole hell of a lot available, so I'm really not too worried about that. Seems like a lot of people are saying that it just kinda feels more like a Switch Pro. Like, it's cool, it's got some pretty cool features and stuff like that. Like, the whole mouse feature that it has is actually pretty nice, especially for some first-person shooter games like, Cyberpunk, I couldn't think of it for a second. I'm so tired today, like, my brain is just, like, fried. But yeah, like the mouse feature is like really helpful for like Cyberpunk, I guess, the Cyberpunk game that's on the Switch too, which is weird to see Cyberpunk 2077 on a Switch console, even if it is the newest one. But it's not an exclusive, and I've already played Cyberpunk for the PS5, so I'm not really interested in that. So don't really want Mario Kart World, so that just leaves Donkey Kong Bonanza. But I mean, if they announce more games on that console, like if they do like another Smash Bros. Game, which hopefully they will, if they do that along with the Donkey Kong game, a new Zelda, maybe another Mario World type game, we'll see. Since games are getting so damn expensive anymore, like between 80 to 90 bucks, like for me, if it's like 80 bucks a pop for Switch 2 games, I'd say if I can find at least if Nintendo can come out with at least 5, maybe 6 exclusives for the Switch 2 that are worth picking up, then maybe I'll consider getting the console. But yeah, right now I think until they really announce anything like really stellar for it, and I'm probably just going to hold off on that. But Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, I got really off track there. I tend to go down these rabbit holes, especially like when it's been such a long week and my brain is completely fried. But yeah, Tactics, I'm very excited for that game. This is probably going to be a day one pickup for me. Yeah, I've always wanted to play it. I think I remember I borrowed it from a friend, I think way back in the day, back on the PS1, but this was back when I was very young and I really didn't have much of an appreciation for like turn-based strategy games. I just couldn't really get into them. And since this was more of like a grid-based game from what I remember, like I couldn't get into that. But now I really am excited to finally get to play this game, especially like and fully realize like high definition, like 2D HD animation. I think that's going to be a really cool way to play this game, and still having access to the original version too, I think is going to be cool as well. So yeah, really exciting game news coming out this year. Looking forward to this, and of course, I'll give my thoughts on it whenever it does come out and I get a chance to play it. I might go back and just rewatch Spaceballs and maybe give my thoughts on that. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, I think that's going to conclude tonight's episode. Once again, if you like what you heard, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the show out a lot, and I definitely appreciate it. And I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everyone.